Hello, welcome to this lecture video. In this lecture, we will tackle about thesis statement and outlining. Academic writing is often persuasive in nature. When we write an academic or research paper, our goal is primarily to convince our readers to consider our stand. It could be to prove that a certain scientific hypothesis is correct, or to show the effects of global warming, or to back up a text political message, and many more. Of course, to be able to convince someone of our stand, we have to be able to define it concretely and completely first. To do this, we need to write a clear thesis statement. So, what is a thesis statement? And how do we write one? How do we make sure that it is a strong thesis statement? Thesis statement is the main idea that will dictate the purpose and flow of your arguments in the rest of your paper. Typically, the following are the characteristics of a thesis statement. It shows where you stand regarding the subject matter you are discussing. It tells the reader what they can expect from the rest of your paper. It directly answers a question posed to you. It makes a claim that can be disputed, or it is a single sentence near the start of your paper that presents your argument to the readers. The rest of your paper will then contain evidence that will help back up your thesis statement in order to persuade others to take your stand. So, when receiving assignments that require you to submit a paragraph, an essay, or a paper, make sure to understand the instructions carefully to see if you will need to develop a thesis statement. If you are asked to analyze, interpret, compare, and contrast, show causes and effects, or even choose a side or stand on an issue, then more often than not you will need to write a thesis statement for your assignment. Of course, the body of your paper should then support and defend your thesis. Now, how are we going to write a thesis statement? Okay, a thesis statement cannot be written hastily. Okay? Formulating a thesis is not the first thing you do upon receiving an assignment or task. A thesis must be the result of a long process of thinking and planning. Before you can develop any kind of thesis, you must first do your research on the topic. Look for information, evidence, and details. Then organize them based on the points they make. Look for possible relationships between pieces of information and try to analyze and find the significance of these relationships. Once you have done this initial process, you will likely be able to come up with a working thesis. And that is a basic main idea that you think or feel you could support with evidence. Now, do not worry if your thesis and your arguments might need adjustments along the way. What matters is that you can find substantial evidence to support a more concrete thesis, even if you had to adjust from time to time. Here is an example. Example number one. Suppose this is the given topic. Should the Soji bill be passed in the Philippines? A simple thesis statement would be to say, I believe the Soji bill should be passed, as it already shows a clear stand that you can defend with research and data. Of course, to improve on this even further, you can add a primary reason for choosing the side you did, which you will defend using the rest of your paper. For example, I believe the Soji bill should be passed because it ensures that all basic human rights are available to all people, regardless of sexual orientation or gender expression. Here's another example. Example number two. Okay, now, if the instruction given to you for an assignment is to report on the state of traffic in Quezon City, then it is highly likely that you will not need a thesis statement for that assignment. Now, to tell you, reporting on something is just a matter of presenting the facts and details related to the topic without necessarily defending a stand or side about it. However, if the assignment is instead to analyze, again, to analyze the state of traffic in Quezon City and propose a possible solution for it, then a thesis statement is necessary. In this assignment, not only should you provide your analysis of the traffic in Quezon City, but you should also propose a solution and defend its effectiveness. Now, these are just examples of some additional questions you might ask while analyzing the situation. Through this, you will be able to formulate a thesis statement. How many cars are on the road daily? How many of these cars are only carrying one or two people? Where are they coming from? What time is usually the worst? Now, here is the proposed concrete solution to the problem that may or may not prove effective and can be disputed by the others. So the rest of the paper should then present evidence from research on how this could be effective. Let's read. A possible solution to the traffic situation in Quezon City is to set up carpooling systems in the most densely populated communities and outside large company buildings. Okay, take note. Make use of the thesis statement to take a stance on an issue that you can support with facts and reasons. Now, let's move on to outlining academic text. Now, reading academic text requires critical thinking skills. When reading for analysis, it is easier to break down the text with a visual representation, such as in the sample image, or one way to see the text broken down visually is through an outline. An outline acts like a blueprint for the text. Now, creating an outline is one of the last steps of the pre-writing stage. It helps writers categorize the main points of the topic, organize the paragraphs to make sense, and ensure that the paragraphs are fully developed. An outline acts like a blueprint or a map, and it ultimately helps the writer to not get stuck while he or she is writing an essay. A well-written and developed outline has the following: the thesis of the text, the main idea that is well developed in each body paragraph, and also the evidence or supporting details in each paragraph to back up the main idea. To tell you, there are two types of outlines. The first one is the topic outline, and second is the sentence outline. Now let's discuss the two. In topic outline, when you're going to write a topic outline, there are only phrases or main ideas that are needed. Okay, those are the things that are needed. And there is no need for what? For full sentences in the said outline. A topic outline also utilizes wording that is parallel to one another. This means, what does this mean? This means that the same format is used for headings and subheadings in terms of structure, of words or parts of speech, for organization. And lastly, a heading or subheading should not be divided into one part only. If there is a concept under A, there must be a B. If there is a 1, then must be also a 2. Okay, let's have this as an example. Here's the thesis statement. There should be more effective marketing strategies for STEM education worldwide. To tell you, every outline of an essay should have the thesis statement because why? It is the backbone of the essay. Without the thesis statement, we cannot be able to somehow create and visualize our content, all right? Or how we're going to make our outline for the academic text that we will be working on. Okay, here's now the outline. And here's an example also of the topic outline. Okay, so the topic is outlined using Roman numerals to indicate the main idea per body paragraph. This topic outline focuses on how there should be better marketing for STEM education. So the main ideas found in the body have deductive approaches to their presentation. All of the headings in the outline are parallel to one another with regard to the number of words used. Okay, take note. You have to keep the headings parallel to one another in terms of the number of words, and they should be the same number of words or at least around the same length. So the second type of outline is what we call the sentence outline. Now, the sentence outline, unlike the topic outline, which utilizes phrases, the sentence outline makes use of sentences. That means all headings and subheadings must be in sentence form. There is a lesser need to have parallelism between headings and subheadings, but the same concept of divisions per heading should still be followed. It cannot be divided into one part only. Okay, let's have this example. Here's the thesis statement. Globalization is not a progressive ideal for Generation Z. Okay, we may also somehow read this sample sentence outline. Okay, so here's Roman numeral 1. Okay, that's the subheading. And also under the Roman numeral 1 are the subheadings A, B, and C. and supporting details under it are being numbered. Okay. Next, here is the Roman numeral 2 heading. And again, to remind you that a heading in the outline is already the main idea in the uh, body paragraph, or this could be one paragraph, and it would somehow tell us that this is what it talks about, or this is what it means. All right, this would be the center of the message in the particular paragraph. Okay, so here's Roman numeral 2 and with its heading. So we have also A, B, and C under it are subheadings. And we have also supporting details being numbered in the subheadings B and C. Okay, Roman numeral 3 as well, together with what would be the main idea in that particular body paragraph. Here we have also the subheadings A and B and also C, and there are also somehow supporting details being included, being numbered also in the letter A subheading. Okay, so that would be our example for the sentence outline. Now, for our explanation about that example, the outline talks about Generation Z and the possibility that they may counter globalization based on their ideals. There is a concrete thesis statement, of course. Now, before we have presented the outline, we had first the thesis statement, and the sentence outline shows the main ideas with subheadings and the supporting details. As you have observed, notice that there are subheadings that there are being numbered under it. Those are supporting details for the subheadings. Okay, and then it is more ideal to have supporting details for all subheadings, and also all of this information are being placed in the outline is in what? In sentence form, since it is what? It is sentence outline. If the writer were to use this outline for an essay, of course, transition words from one thought to the next would be a recommendation. Okay, take note about this. Outlines will guide you in constructing your first draft. Without an outline, your written output might be left what? Left disorganized, incohesive, and also incoherent. Okay, that's to be reminded of you of that note. So, to wrap it up, so for what we have discussed in this lecture video, the thesis statement is a single sentence usually found in the introductory paragraph of a paper that states the main idea and position of the writer. The thesis statement is a product of a long thinking and researching process. Consultation and self-evaluation are important in order to develop a stronger thesis statement. Also, there are two ways to outline ideas for written works. The first is the topic outline, and second is the sentence outline. When I say about the topic outline, it utilizes what? The keywords and concepts only. While on the other hand, the sentence outline, it utilizes complete sentences to organize ideas.